What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jiu-Jitsu Journal by Quotes and Chokes Instructionals. Today I'm going to show you a couple tips on how to get more flexible to improve your guard in Jiu-Jitsu. The rule of thumb that you want to stick to is every 4 minutes that you spend training, you should spend 1 minute stretching. I'm going to show you stretches that apply particularly to your guard, but definitely stick to all of your stretches. Stretch your whole body. That's going to help you prevent injury. What we're going to cover today is what's going to help you get more flexible just for your guard. Alright, so the movements that we're going to do are going to be divided into two categories. We have our dynamic movements, our dynamic stretches, or our static stretches. So we're going to start with dynamic, and these are typically things that you want to do before class. Maybe get a little bit warm first and then hit these. The static stretches you want to leave towards the end. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start off with is two pretty typical movements that you're going to see in a jiu-jitsu class, but they're very important for not just developing flexibility, but developing dexterity. Alright, so we're going to start on your butt, and you're going to bring one foot in to your butt and the other foot planted. I'm going to reach forward, rock up, and push my hips in. I'm going to go through this nice and slow so I can stretch my hip flexors, but then also I'm getting this movement here. What's really important for jiu-jitsu is to be able to get this as tight as you can to do different things with your guard, okay? So this comes in and up. Now when I sit down, actually let me switch sides. So when I sit down, I'm gonna switch my feet. This is gonna push out. This one comes in, and I come up and engage my hips. My posture is good, okay? Sit. This foot pushes, this foot comes in, and I come up, right? And this is something that you can do just like while you watch TV or whatever, or you can do it before class to warm up, like I said. But it's really gonna be good at getting your hip more mobile. One thing that I would say that's kind of a myth in jiu-jitsu, people talk about knee flexibility. There is no such thing as knee flexibility. If your knees are flexible, you're probably in serious danger of a knee injury. All your flexibility for your guard is gonna come from your hip. Your knee only goes this way. All you can do is change the angle at which this hinge joint is pointing. So that's what most of these stretches are gonna be kind of geared towards.
All right, you're good.
Okay, so this second movement is another movement that you'll see a lot of times in the jiu-jitsu warm-up, but it's really good at developing your hip flexibility. Okay, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna have one leg up and I'm sitting on the other knee. And then I'm gonna fall the leg. So the leg that you put up is gonna be on the side that is the direction you're moving in. Okay, I'm gonna fall towards that leg. Then I'm gonna rock up over this shin as this leg swings me around. And then I'm gonna sit back to that leg. I rock up over that same side shin as the opposite leg lifts me up, and I sit back down. Okay, so all together it looks like this. Boom, boom, boom. Right? One more time. Sit to the hip, swing your leg up and around, and sit to that hip. It's like that. Okay, so the next three stretches we're gonna do are static stretches. These are stretches that you definitely want to be warm before you do them. One tip that anytime you are doing hip stretches like this, you want to avoid torquing your knee, right? Like I said, there's no such thing as flexible knees. They only go this way, right? I'm turning my hips here. So to brace my knee, I'm gonna do a few things. One, I'm gonna flex my toes up like this so that it flexes these muscles around here, it supports the knee, and also, if possible, I'm gonna support my knee with my arm or the ground, depending on how I'm doing the stretch, okay? So that kind of leads us into the first stretch. So when your knees on the ground, I'm gonna do this pigeon stretch here. And this has two applications for jiu-jitsu. One, I'm stretching my hip flexor here, or not my hip flexor, I'm stretching my hip extender here, which is really what we want to focus on, but also at the same time I'm stretching this back hip flexor, which tends to be a problem for, it's a tight area for most people in jiu-jitsu, so we're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. But look, I want to make sure that I can set my whole thigh and calf on the ground. So if you can't do that, then bring your foot in closer until you can get your calf and your thigh on the ground. If I'm out here and I can't get like the whole thing on the ground, see how my thigh is floating here, I'm gonna put torque on my knee. So bring your foot in until you get to a point where you can have your whole thigh on the ground. This supports your knee when you do this, okay? So with static stretches, two things you want to focus on here. My abs are flexed so that I'm not cranking my back, okay? My abs are tight and I'm sitting down here with good posture. When I do static stretches, I want to hold at least 20 seconds. You need to hold it till you can feel your muscles start to relax. When you first get into a stretch, it's like, oh, it's painful, and then you want to stay there until it comes just a little less painful. Because if you hold static stretches for too short, the only response you're going to get out of your body is that shock, like, oh, I don't like this, and it clenches up nice and tight because it's trying to protect itself. And you're going to finish with the result of your body going like clenching up, being tight, protecting yourself. You want to sit in that stretch long enough that you can that your muscles start to relax. Then you can move on. Obviously, you're going to do one on each side, at least 20 seconds apiece. Okay. Okay. So the next stretch that we're going to do is kind of a variation of that pigeon stretch. We'll kind of break this into two portions or two options. The base level of this option is to start just like how I'm sitting here, one foot tucked in, one foot off to the side, and you can bend directly over your shin. This one's nice because the floor is always going to be supporting your knee. There's not a whole lot of danger here. Flex my toes up to really flex the muscles around my knee here, and I can come straight forward over my shin. Okay, this is a pretty gentle stretch. It's good for someone who maybe has a little bit of tightness issues in this area. It's a good base layer. Once you get flexible, the goal is to take, if I'm stretching my left side, that same side arm, the elbow, and put it inside of my foot and be able to bring my hand towards my foot, okay? Again, with this, I'm gonna hold this for at least 20 seconds because it's a static stretch on each side, okay? Okay, so this third one is one of my favorites, feels the best, and it's really good if you're into playing rubber guard, things like that. I'm gonna lay on my back, and I'm gonna cross my shin, not my ankle or my foot, my shin over my knee, and I'm gonna reach through and hug this knee. Okay, if this is too intense for you, you can hug the thigh. Makes it a little bit easier. The goal is to get to the knee or the shin here eventually. And look, my toes are flexed back to support the knee. This is really, really important because stretching improperly can do more harm than good. Okay, you need to be making sure that you're stretching properly. The little details make all the difference. Okay, so I'm here, and look, I would prefer to be able to lay all the way down. So if you can't do this, then switch to the thigh. You don't want to do something like this. Okay, lay all the way down with your head and your neck in a healthy neutral position, and you can just chill here. If you need a stronger stretch, start to pull it towards your chest. The deeper you go, the harder I'm flexing my foot back here. Okay, 20 seconds each side. And chill there for a minute. You'll find that usually most people have a more flexible side. So feel free to hold it an extra 5 to 10 seconds on your less flexible side. Your tighter side is never going to catch up to your more flexible side by stretching them equally. Because obviously your more flexible side is getting more movement and stretching during your actual roll, and that's why it is that way. So feel free to offset that to kind of catch one up. All right, I'm gonna add in one more stretch here that I think is important. It doesn't necessarily apply to your hips, and it's a stretch that pretty much everyone has seen, but it is very helpful. It's helpful for two reasons. It's gonna help you get flexible in the right areas, but also it's gonna help you get comfortable and learn to breathe in a position that's usually naturally uncomfortable, okay? So, and that's just how I'm gonna stack myself. I'm gonna lay on my back. I want to try to bring my toes to the mat behind me here. It's kind of early in the morning and I'm not very warm, so I really can't get all the way there. But once you're nice and warm, you can bring your toes to the mat here. Try to get comfortable here and breathe for a while. Okay, just take deep breaths, sit for 20 seconds, come up, take a break, come back down. Now once you can get there's two ways you can do this. If you're tighter in your back, keep your legs bent and reach back. If you're tighter in your thighs, straighten your legs and try to touch the mat. This is much harder. But this is something that is really important when you start getting into like inverted guards and things like that. You're gonna need to be able to stack in yourself like this, okay? So that stretch is something that's very important that a lot of times is overlooked, but everybody knows it. Just try to implement that into your stretching game. Alright guys, as always, thank you for watching. Today we went over what was supposed to be 5, but it ended up being 6 stretches to help you improve your guard game in Jiu-Jitsu. If you like this video, hit that like button. Also comment below and let us know what type of moves or techniques you'd like to see in the future. And don't forget to subscribe right there.